And we're live. Hey everyone, Lash and Luke here again with Mr. Tyler Pancake. Now, I know I'd said I'd do another tier list next week, but we decided after my last stream, which was on Bleach, that I would do another one, and we decided on something that I think Tyler was more than eager to get going. So it would be a My Hero Academia tier list. We're going to be going through the students of class 1A, Class 1B, and a couple of others and their teachers and deciding where they rank. So before we get started, I should say that we both like My Hero Academia, although I'm not as big a fan as Tyler is. Basically, Tyler's Tyler.
I'm the My Hero guy. I am the My Hero guy among the friend group in with me and Luke. And on my own server, I am basically the My Hero expert. I am the My Hero fanatic.
Yes, he's basically what I am to Dr. Stone, because everyone knows that Dr. Stone is my favorite manga, and obviously My Hero is his favorite manga. So, of course, now we're going to be getting into this tier list. So, first of all, we're just going to start right off the back with Ayama.
All right.
Ayama, I do actually like him. I like him probably more so than other people because I can relate to him a lot, because he's one of those characters who's more on the sympathetic side, where it's like he wants to be viewed, he wants to be liked by people, but he can be quite timid about it, and that can remind me an awful lot about me as well, as a person as well, particularly at that age when I was kind of sort of like getting to grips with my autism and Asperger's, and kind of coming out of my show in the same way that he kind of comes out of his show as the series goes on. So, do you have any thoughts that you want to say on Aoyama?
Honestly, Aoyama, he's not the first person I would think of when it comes to like standout people in Class 1A, but I actually do really like him a lot. I feel like his coming out of his shell was very sympathetic. It was honestly something it's honestly kind of it was neat to see like a normally very flashy person and very extravagant person like Aoyama turn out to just be a very introverted kind of guy, and we got to see those two sides of him clash a lot, and to see him really come out of his shell and sort of come into his own was very refreshing to see. So yeah, I like Aoyama.
Yeah, and I do like that about him. How he was kind of at the beginning of the series, he was kind of a introverted kind of guy in the same way that Isuku was, and I feel like that's kind of where people could really relate to him in that regard. But in terms of him as an actual character, where would you want to put him? Because I would put him in either average or great, because because I feel like he's one of the characters that really deserves a lot more spotlights, but he hasn't really had that much. If you really think about it, going back over the feats that he's actually done in the series.
Yeah, like that. Like that's the thing with like Horikoshi, it's that he gave himself a large ass cast to work with. He just doesn't know how to utilize them, and it would be nice to have more screen time out of Aoyama. I kind of wish we would have had like a more grounded, like school based arc where we could actually see Aoyama shine. Like maybe not something fully like based around being a hero and fighting and shit. Maybe something, because like maybe something more on par with like a more grounded arc, like where the kids can actually be high school students, sort of like the cultural festival.
But if you've seen like the reactions to the anime watchers on the cultural festival, they were not keen on that, and I feel like, okay, I'll let you say to them now, change our minds. Why change our minds? The cultural festival arc is one of the best arcs in My Hero. I want you to say why you think that as well, Tyler.
All right. So why the cultural festival arc is one of my personal favorite arcs of My Hero is that it's one of the few arcs in the series where these high school students feel like high schoolers and not a bunch of teenagers who are just working towards a goal. They feel like high schoolers, and they're having fun. They're playing music. They're dancing. They're acting. They're having fucking fun, which is something I can't say about my high school.
I think I personally had that when I got to university, like where there were times where I could just sit back and chill rather than working to a goal. And even then, they were working towards a goal in the actual arc itself, getting basically trying to make themselves feel like, no, we are worthy of this, because a lot of people are like, I don't know about that class 1A. They're just going to be showing off. They're not going to do something incredible, kind of thing. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but of course, a lot of people are like, does this have big spoilers? I'm just reading the comments here on the side, Tyler, from Blazing Boy. Does this have big spoilers for me, Luke? Also, hello. Depends where you actually are in the series, man.
We'll be covering up to the latest point in the manga, that being chapter 297.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there will be spoilers if you're not caught up on the manga, man. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, what was it? I lost my train of thought there. Yeah. A lot of people are like, this is why now arc. I don't care. Where's the fights? Where's the fight? Blah, blah, blah. Fights. We want the fights. This is just boring. We want the fights. Blah 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 blah. And that's kind of the main issue that I feel like Chainsaw Man is gonna have. Like people are gonna be focused more on the fights in that series rather than like everything else around it. Because if people just wanted to care about the fights, then just watch the fights. Don't watch the series. Yeah,
like if you want a fight, just watch the fights. But you don't have to be watching the series.
But even then, they'll be watching the fights, and it won't feel as impactful. Like, case in point, if I was to show someone, for example, I don't know, Rise versus Denji from Chainsaw Man, people would be like, okay, yeah, that's a great. Better example, Makima versus everyone, like the final arc of Chainsaw Man. Yeah, that was a pretty intense fight and all, but if you don't have the context behind everything before that, it doesn't make it as impactful.
Yeah, and like that's the thing with a fight can be cool out of context, but if you don't know the context behind the fight, it loses that like emotional impact. It's like watching a pro wrestling match without knowing all the story, all the lead up, like the history between these two guys. Or like if the two guys like have a big history, and you go into that knowing that, it makes it all the more impactful. It makes it all the more extravagant. It makes it all the more better knowing the context behind the fight.
Yeah, so that was just our rant that we just had to get off our chest there. But anyway, back to Aoyama. I'm gonna put him in great. I don't know where you would put him, but I would definitely put him in great. I just wish Horikoshi would do a lot more with not just him. He's not the only one that has this problem. It's the majority of the cast that aren't basically Deku, Bakugou, and Todoroki that have this major problem. Whereas, like looking at something like Dr. Stone that has a large cast, it's not just even though most of it focuses on Senku, you still remember pretty much all the other characters around them, even the minor characters.
Yeah, and that is like a big problem, having a main cast of 21 if you're including Aizawa.
And yeah, I would include Aizawa. I would consider him a major part of the series.
Yeah, it's like Horikoshi gave himself. He's biting off more than he can chew, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and even then, it's not just the students. Like, you also have the other heroes as well of Hero Society that just adds up as well. But in terms of Ayama, I definitely put him in great. What would you say?
I wouldn't. I'd put him somewhere between like great and average.
Okay, so we're both saying great then.
Yeah.
I just wish he had a lot more screen time. That is all.
Absolutely.
Now, also, I should say his hero name because it's just one of the most ridiculous but awesome hero. Never stop sparkling. It's like, oh, the fillers are robbing a bank, kids. Hero stop sparkling. Is that correct?
Yeah, but the name in the anime, Can't Stop Twinkling, is giving me some pretty traumatic flashbacks to a bad Weezer song, and I never want to think of it again.
Right, now on to Ashido, also known as Pinky. Not the most creative name in the world.
I would have preferred Alien Queen, but you know what? Pinky's fine. Okay, so Ashido, I feel like, first off, her personality is wonderful. She's bubbly, kind, and I want to give her a hug.
Yes.
So the personality box is checked off. And
yes, and I loved her, and I loved how she had a connection with one of the students. That she wasn't just like with Bakugou and Isuka. She had a connection with one of the other students, obviously being your boy Kiroshima.
Yep.
Yep. And I love that about it. Like, okay, so because there really should have been more of that, like more of like the students from other school, like that are coming into the classes that, like, oh, we know each other from middle school. Oh, we've known each other from elementary school. There really should have been more of that rather than just those two examples that I can think of.
Yeah, and you know, this could be contributed of Horikoshi having a large cast and not knowing what to do with it. It all ties back into Horikoshi. Horikoshi, I love you, dude, but you don't. It seems like you're really scattered on what you want to do with the cast. Like, you have times where we have focus on some cast members, and it's not much with some of these characters, like Jiro when we get to her, but Horikoshi does not know how to handle these characters. I feel like he gave himself too much. He's really he's sort of like overwhelming himself in that way. And
yeah,
if he shrunk down the cast to like 10 students.
We are getting to that in the next character that's coming up, because I've got something to say.
Boy! Oh yeah. Joy!
Oh boy! But yeah, carry on.
And like, if Ashido remained in like a slimmed down cast of My Hero, then I definitely feel Ashido could have gotten more chance to shine. And like, her backstory with Kiroshima is always wonderful, and it's like Bakugou and Midoriya, and like their childhood childhood friends, but the childhood friends here, they're actually friends. They're not like this weird rivalry friendship thing with Bakugou and Midoriya. Like, Kiroshima and Ashido are actually friends, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Disappointment War arc, we actually got a scene during the fight with Gigantomachia with Ashido and Kiroshima pseudo interacting.
I really can't remember if that was a thing. Yeah, we'll probably have to go back and look at that, but I can't really remember that point.
Yeah, because I think it was like around the 280 mark.
Right.
And
carry on.
Yeah, so like, and like, I would have loved to like see more about Ashido and just find out more about her as a person, and because I feel like there's more to Ashido than what she lets on. Like,
yeah. Like I feel like she's a character that could have like a tragic backstory, because she literally has the ability to disintegrate anything she touched. Like sort of like a parallel to with Shigaraki. Like Shigaraki has a similar quirk where anything he touches, it disintegrates, and they have similar quirks. So I could have imagined like she could have had a tragic backstory where she where in a fit of rage she blinded someone that was bullying her because of the fact that she looked so alien.
yeah. And overall, I think Ashido is great. I'd have to put Ashido in great.
Oh, because really, I would have put her in average. Like, because really, aside from her backstory of Kiroshima, and like her personality, what do we know about her?
Fair. I can concede with average. I can concede with average. I don't know. Maybe her personality's just like overwhelming.
Yeah,
everything.
Her personality just comes out so much that you're like sitting there like thinking like, wait, what's this character actually done?
Yeah, and like that's the thing with me. Like, 9 times out of 10, I judge characters based on, hey, is this character nice? Does this character seem cool? And like that can sort of like blind my judgment to like how they're written and stuff.
Yeah, but I think we have to keep in mind that we have to judge them by how they're written as well.
Yeah, we kind of have to be a bit more objective here.
All right, now here's something that I want to talk about. Ida.
Go right ahead, Luke.
All right, okay, so the disappointing war arc. Okay, it was built. This is me just basically ranting now. It's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. The war arc. It was built up. You have that big caption that says, "On this day, heroes disappear from the streets," and you think, "Oh, great! This is great." So we're gonna get some major deaths. We're gonna get some major deaths here, not just on the hero side, but on the student side as well. And it's like out of the five like main characters, like main student characters, who would be the most likely to die out of all of them? And I was gravitating towards Ida, because obviously you can't cut off Deku and Bakugou because they're the two main characters. Todoroki you can't kill off. Uraraka you can't kill off, but like and then that just leaves with Ida. So I'm like thinking like, okay, this may be the arc where Ida actually dies. Him dying would actually make sense because he's always about protecting his fellow students. He's the class rep. That's something he would do. He would be dying to protect them. Nope, we didn't get that. We got no major deaths on the hero side aside from Crust, the shield hero. Oh, God bless his soul. Who remembers Crust? I don't. And to a lesser extent, Midnight. So yeah. I feel like Ida should have died in that arc. Not just Ida, but like several of these characters. Like I could have seen some characters like Kaminari and Jiro dying. Maybe Momo if you really want to stretch it there, but the major death that I thought that was going to happen on the student side was definitely Ida, and the fact that just really irks me. And you've given your rants about the war arc itself as well, but I guess the fact that we didn't get any major deaths, that kind of irritated me. But Ida himself, I do like his character. I like the fact that he's not just this stereotypical like just by the books kind of guy, and the fact that even he can let his like negative emotions blind him at points, like with the Stain fight where his brother got attacked and he was like, "I'm gonna kill Stain," and yeah, that was like, holy shit, this guy is like, you don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, and like if I may add my 2 cents on Ida,
yeah,
he's definitely a because I'm usually not a fan of like those big like stickler characters. I usually find them really irritating.
Yeah,
and if I may pull some parallels from Danganronpa,
go on.
He's sort of like Kiyotaka Ishimaru from Danganronpa 1, where, you know, we see they kind of go through similar things, and they're both similar characters. They're both very uptight, very stickler type of characters. And with Taka, with him finding out that, okay, spoilers for Danganronpa chapters 2 and chapters 3 of the first game. If you have not played it, you might
Go
wanna...
ahead. Go ahead.
Alright.
Go ahead. I can deal with it.
So in chapter 2 of Danganronpa 1, Mondo kills Chihiro, and this revelation, it breaks Taka, because in that same chapter, Mondo and Taka became friends. Mondo was Taka's only friend at that point. And
wait. Isn't this the guy that gets turned into you know what?
yep,
Okay. No, I already know about this, so you can carry on.
all right, so with the revelation of Mondo being the killer and seeing Mondo be executed and turned into butter for Monokuma to eat with his fucking pancakes, it breaks Taka. Like in chapter 3, Taka, he's barely even a person. He is still, he is motionless. He's basically a husk of his former self until Taka meets up with Alter Ego, and Alter Ego impersonates Mondo, and then reinvigorates Taka, bringing on Kyondo or Ishida, if you prefer. And honestly, I kind of wish Taka stayed alive, for the main reason of, we could have had a character arc with Taka showing him that morality is never black and white. There is never such a thing as completely good and completely evil. Morality is a very gray, amorphous thing. It's what you make of it. Some people, a person may do something, others may think it's justified, others may not think so. With Ida, we sort of see that same moral grayness to him.
Yeah.
Like, except it's in Ida himself, and we see his actions kind of being both justified and unjustified.
Yeah.
It's justified because, Stain went after his brother, and he crippled him and nearly killing him.
Yeah.
And with that, Ida snaps, and his negative emotions overtake him, and now Ida's out for blood.
Yeah, and I think one of my favorite moments from My Hero Academia is when Ida is when Deku and Uraraka are when they're going off to their internships, and they turn to Ida and they're like, "Hey, Ida, you can tell us what if something's going on. We're our friends, right?" And he goes, just coldly, "Yeah, we are friends." And then you just see him turn right, and then you just see just the killing intent on his face. There, it's like, oh my word.
Yeah, Ida definitely is a great character, and the Stain arc, it definitely was a good arc for him.
Yeah,
sort of reevaluate his values, and
yeah, definitely. And I would definitely put him in excellent. He's great, but he's excellent for all those things. Plus the fact that he does a great job at being the class rep and keeping everyone in line. And just the fact that you just have Bakugou there, who's the complete opposite of him as well in every single detail.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put him in excellent.
I can agree with excellent.
Yeah. Now, Kaminari. To be honest, I don't have many strong feelings towards Kaminari as a character. I feel like the strongest feeling that you've got at the moment is he's the candidate for the traitor, but I think Horikoshi has said that he forgets half the time that there's supposed to be a traitor.
Yeah, Kaminari is the biggest hey, this guy might be a traitor kind of person, but at the same time,
He's kind of like, I'm just a trendy kid.
Yeah, there isn't really much to him other than being the occasional sidekick to Mineta.
Yeah.
And
Now, when we get to Mineta, like people have often said to me, like, "Oh, how can you hate Mineta for like his pervy nature, but not hate Kaminari?" I'm like, "Well, Kaminari has his limits."
yeah, Kaminari knows when enough is enough.
Yeah,
Kaminari has that sort of restraint to him.
yeah, and really, Mineta really should have been kicked out of UA at this point.
Oh, we'll get
to it. We'll get to Mineta because I've got the perfect spot for him in this list, and a lot of people are gonna probably chastise me for this. But talking about Kaminari, and here's the thing: you'd figure, like, at some point. You'd figure, because he calls himself, I'm the stun gun hero, charge bolt. You think like, okay, I've got this electrical quirk. How can I improve it? Oh, I'm calling myself the stun gun hero. The stun gun hero. Maybe I should make my finger into a pistol and just fire my electricity from there, rather than just doing the huge voltage charges.
well,
if you know what I mean. Yeah, go on.
I believe it's been stated that he can't really concentrate his electricity into one point.
That's the whole point of training. That's why you should be training instead of being, let's be honest, one of the most stupid characters in the series. And that's not exaggeration. He's literally, aside from Ashido, the dumbest out of Class 1A.
Yeah, he did get last on his midterms.
Yeah, so instead of just focusing on being trendy, Kaminari, maybe you should focus on, okay, how can I concentrate this electricity so that I don't go simpleton?
Yeah, and like Kaminari doesn't really have much to him either. We saw bits and pieces of him with I believe it was his mother.
Yeah.
That died in action.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like there could have been something there with Kaminari. And I think we did get some stuff with Kaminari, but I kind of wish we got more.
Yeah, I really think we should have got more. But here's the thing: if we really got more, and if he was to be the traitor, then we probably would have got it by now. Unless Horikoshi does a complete 180 on chapter 300. Oh, we're going to reveal the traitor at last so that people don't stop bugging me about it.
Yeah. But overall, I would put Kaminari in average.
Yeah, he's average for me as well.
Oh boy, okay.
Right, I will let you take this one because I'm just gonna say Kiroshima's great for me, but I'll let you explain why you love him so much.
Okay, so if none of you know, Kiroshima is my favorite character in the entirety of My Hero. And this all came about mainly from the Overhaul arc. In the Overhaul arc, we definitely got to see a more intricate, and we really got to really pick apart Kiroshima's rock hard brain with this arc. And like the first big moment we got is when he was hunting down that bone guy, and we saw him first use Red Riot Unbreakable. And we've even seen like glimpses and pieces of Kiroshima and his issues with his self-confidence. Like we see that Kiroshima is not the most confident person out there, really. Like, yeah, he's this big, bombastic bro character. He's one of the few people who to actually make friends with Bakugou, and he's one of the few people he respects to that kind of degree. But Kiroshima does not have a lot of confidence. He's not very assured of himself. And we see this especially in his flashback. We see him just view himself as ordinary and plain Jane. We see him, thinking his quirk is just an inconvenience for him. Like when he scratched his eye when he was 4. And we really saw another side of Kiroshima that we haven't seen yet. And if I'm being completely honest, it was the it was the fight with Rappa where we got to see Kiroshima shine, and we got to see his flashback. We got to see Kiroshima at his lowest point, and when he was brought back up, with the recording from Red Riot. I mean, not Red Riot, Crimson Riot. We really got to see him. We saw him grow, and we saw him change, and we saw Kiroshima pick himself up, and that change in Kiroshima, and that sort of like dip in self-confidence and that dip in self-esteem, it's something I can personally relate to, as you know, despite my seemingly hyperactive, energetic nature, I never really had the most confidence when I was younger, and I would often find myself being very doubtful of my abilities, and seeing somebody also overcome their own insecurities in a way, in that manner, it's something I can personally relate to. And that's why I like Kiroshima so much.
Yeah, I think you've said pretty much everything you need to say. In terms of me, I did like him. I liked him at the beginning when he was first introduced, and I liked the fact that he was able to make friends with Bakugou, which has led to many fan fictions about the two, especially when they were going to rescue Bakugou, and they were like, Kiroshima, you have to be the one to reach out to him. It's like, oh, they're really trying to make these two a romantic couple here, even though it's clear there's only one person for Kiroshima, and that is Ashido. Let's be honest, it's gonna be Kiroshima x Ashido at this point.
Honestly, I could see either of them, and I'd be happy with either.
Yeah. Now, for me, he's great, but he's not any higher than that for me. I don't know where you want to put. If you want to put him higher, then I will concede.
I'd put Kiroshima in God, at the very least. Excellent.
Okay, can we go for a compromise and put him in excellent?
Yeah, we'll put him in excellent.
All right, okay, we'll do that. So excellent. Now the shy kid, Koda.
He's fine.
Yeah,
not really much to him.
Not really much to him, and I love the fact that we had at least one character who's kind of like the shy kid, the one that's like, or just who's just kind of there, just kind of doing their own thing, but at the same time, the more. Actually, it's very subtle with Koda as a character, because at the beginning you don't hear him talk at all. I don't think it's until the end of semester exams where you actually finally hear him speak, and it's like, oh my, this character can actually talk, rather than just being a mute. And I think after that point, you kind of see it subtly, like throughout the arcs, you kind of see him like sort of like gain more confidence. He's one of the more subtly developed characters, because if you're not paying attention, you kind of like just push him into the background. But if you actually pay attention, you see him like, okay, he started to get more lines. Oh, okay, he's getting even more. Okay, he started to talk a little bit more. So he's kind of growing and learning to overcome his shyness at this point. And I'd props to Horikoshi for actually doing that in a sort of way with a character like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of him as an actual character, for me, I would say like, until he actually does something that make people like, okay, this character is actually awesome, he's below average for me.
I'd personally put him in just plain old average, but I could concede with below average.
Yeah, even though I like him as a character, I'm just like thinking like, has he really done enough to be as high as some of these others that are currently up there? And to that, I'd say no.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. Now, Ojiro, the normal guy.
He's fine. He's
Yeah,
there.
yeah, he's just kind of it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say he's one of those characters who you'd think would be who you'd think would be there in the overhaul like arc, because he seems to be. I don't know if you've noticed this, but he seems to team up a lot with Kiroshima because they have like the complementary quirks that can bounce off each other. Because Kiroshima can train by knocking his fists at Ojiro's tail, and vice versa. Ojiro can knock his tail into Kiroshima. So you'd think there would be more instances of them actually teaming up with each other.
Yeah, but instead we don't get much. I don't think we got anything with Ojiro except for a few interactions with Hagakure.
No. We did get it. We did get one in the sports festival where he got manipulated by Shinzo, and he was the one who was like, "I need to tell you what this guy's quirk does, Isuku." And here's the thing of how that could have easily been improved. Deku could have still been manipulated by Shinzo. I'm not saying get rid of all of that, but here's the thing: you get Ojiro, Isuku goes to talk to him, and then you get Ojiro putting his tail in front of Deku's mouth, like, don't talk. And then he goes and gets Sero. He's like, Sero, I need you to come with us. And then they're all in the locker room and they're talking about like how Shinzo's quirk can manipulate people. It's like, just don't talk to him. And then Deku turns to Sero. He's like, can I borrow some tape? And he just covers his mouth. Because you figure, like, Ojiro would do something like that. He would be like, okay, who has a quirk that can stop people talking? Oh, Sero. Okay, I'm bringing him as well.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think of that we got really from Ojiro, like the whole thing at the sports festival with Shinzo.
Yeah, like, Ojiro as a character is basically like dust on a fucking end table. No one's really gonna talk about him. No one's really gonna bring him up. And he's there. He's not doing much. He's not hurting anybody. He's not really doing anything either, but he's there. No one's really going to bring up dust on an end table.
I just put him either below average or just kind of meh. He's there, kind of.
Meh. And the same thing can be said about the next guy, but yeah, Ojiro's meh.
No. The next guy, we've got a special place for him. So meh for Ojiro. Now, Sado, can we just get rid of him out of the series, please?
Sato's not that bad.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, like, he's kind of... I mean, what has he done? Like, name me one thing that Sato has actually done aside from win the dorm contest because he baked them. He baked them souffles.
I mean, he failed the practical exam with Kiroshima.
Did he?
Yeah, he failed and had to take remedial courses. It was him, Kiroshima, Ashido, Kaminari, and Sero.
Huh. Yeah, you see that why I was like, oh, just get rid of him, because he's one of those characters that, yeah, you brought that up. I'm like, really? Did he do that? Yeah. So, but I'll like. Okay, why do you think Sato isn't as bad as isn't that bad?
I mean, there isn't really much to talk about with Sato. Like, it's the same thing as Ojiro. Like, there's not much to him. He's there. He's innocuous. He's fine. Meh. Dust on an end table. I mean, at least with something like a pile of shit. Like, if there's like a pile of shit in the middle of the floor, it's something. There's something to talk about. Only if to say that it's disgusting and needs to be picked up. With dust on an end table, like, there's nothing to talk about. And that's the thing with Sato. There's nothing to talk about with him. So, and he's not bad, but I just put him in meh.
Okay, I'll concede with that. So we'll put him in meh, even though I think he should be a little bit lower. Now, Suyu, Frog Girl, Froppe.
I don't think she's as good as everybody says she is.
Yeah, looking back on it now, she was my favorite character for a while, but looking back, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like Aisawa a little bit better.
Also,
Yeah.
Suyu Asui is a weird way of saying Eijiro Kiroshima.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But I like how she's one of those characters who's just like not afraid to say what she. Also, I've just noticed now. If you look at the actual list, look at what letter we've made.
Oh, we made an E. Nice.
We've made an E. I've only just realised that.
Oh.
Oh, right. Okay. That was just a brief tangent. But Suyu, I like how she's very unapologetic in what she actually thinks. Like, she'll say what she needs to say, and when she doesn't say what she needs to say, it kind of like hurts her as a character. And she just has one of the more unique quirks out of anything. Like she could they basically say she could do anything a frog could do. So okay, so she could, if theoretically, when she gets older, have a poison that basically one drop kills a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like who was it? Recovery Girl said she was like a jack of all trades kind of person. Like, there's not really any weaknesses except for cold with her, which we got Baby Suyu in a filler episode, by the way. Yeah,
that's a filler episode. I don't like filler.
You don't like filler, but no, we got Baby Suyu in that episode. But yeah. A lot of people just gravitate towards her, and looking back, it's like, yeah, she's fine, she's cool, she's done a lot of stuff, but as a character, what can you really say about her?
She's nice. She doesn't take people's bullshit. She
what?
She's nice. She doesn't take anybody's bullshit.
And then you just went blank at that point. So with Suyu,
average.
I'm gonna have to go with average, because looking back, it's like aside from this is again, like you were saying, the main problem with just having such a large cast of characters. Like, if you cut down to, like, say, okay, 10, including the five major ones, if you don't want to kill off either, which by all accounts at this point he should have died, then 5 plus 5 more, like Kiroshima, Suyu, Jiro, Kaminari, I would say, and who else? And Momo, like those 10 as like the core cast of students from this point forward. But of course, we're not going to get that. But yeah, in terms of Suyu, I would definitely put her in average.
Yeah, definitely average.
Yeah. Now, Ochoko, on the other hand.
Let's go!
So, are we saying God for her? Or excellent?
I'd say around excellent or great.
Okay, we can put her in excellent. Okay, you fangasmed over her. You go.
All right, so what I like about Ochoko, well, mainly because she's really nice and I like her personality. That should be a prerequisite at this point.
Yeah, but you said that about Suyu. Why is it different for Ochoko? Incoming comment says.
Yeah, but Ochoko actually does stuff.
But Suyu does stuff as well.
Not important stuff.
Okay, I want you to say why you think Ochoko is better than Suyu.
All right, the reason Ochoko is better than Sue, in my opinion, is the fact that she does more important stuff. She develops as a character. The moment where she fights Bakugou in the sports festival.
Yes. Can we? I'm sorry, I just had to say that. You can't carry on.
Okay, so the fight in the sports festival when she fought against Bakugou was a pretty pivotal moment for her character. It really cements and reinstates her values as a hero. Because, yeah, she's doing it for money, but that money is going towards a good place. That money, it's not like she's gonna go out, splurge that money, buy herself 12 billion cute dresses. She's putting that money towards her parents, so they don't have to worry about not buying groceries, not paying the bills or anything like that. Which honestly, again, I can relate to, because I
think a lot of people can relate to that, because again, you just want to give something back to your parents for all they've done for you as well. So I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, and again with the Danganronpa comparison, it's very much so like Akane from Danganronpa 2, where in Akane's free time events in Danganronpa 2, we find out that she initially got into gymnastics just for the money so she can support her family. With the money comes food, and with the food comes the fact that she can help her siblings. And of course, Akane did more shady stuff than Ochoko has done, but the point of similarity still stands between the two. And even though Ochoko is nowhere near as underrated and overlooked as Akane in Danganronpa 2, Ochoko, like, she's definitely a bit overlooked by the fandom, and
yes, yeah, and not just overlooked by the fandom, but overlooked by the heroes as well, because you had the battle with Bakugou where they were like, oh no, she's fighting Bakugou. Maybe you should withdraw for this. And Bakugou even gives her that choice as well. Like, hey, you can withdraw right now, but I'm not going to hold back if you don't. And the fact for Bakugou to actually acknowledge her after you found out, like, oh, this wasn't a plan that Deku came up with. It was actually she came up with all of this on her own. The fact that he says, I wouldn't call that girl weak, just says a lot for Ojo as a person, to the fact that one of the most unlikable people in the series, in my opinion, Bakugou is unlikable. And for someone like that to say that about her, that just says a lot for her as a character, to get respect from someone like that.
Absolutely. And and if we're keep going with her character, when she develops her crush for Midoriya, and the fact that she puts her feelings aside and focuses towards her goal, I just think that's a good idea, because this is a shonen manga about high school students becoming heroes. Yeah. We don't have time for that romance shit. Yeah. Good on you, Horikoshi.
Yeah, and also as well, gotta say something. Go back to the Trashing on the War arc again. You know where I'm going with this, man. But no, I just want to say, first of all, before we do that, there has to be a talk at some point about Ochoko and Deku's feelings. They have to talk about that at some point, like just a timeout, like saying, like, hey, I do like you and I know you like me, but we're gonna have to put that on hold for the moment. They could just say that. That's all they have to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to what I was going to say about the Trashing on the War arc, like, that hero that was saying, I need a new career. Can you tell me who that was?
Nope.
Now, we're going to get to this guy later, but the guy for Class 1B, what was his name? I've got the list up here. I've got the list with me. Flaming Nora. I had it. Let me. Monoma. Yeah. Let me just get the whole Class 1B list up as well, so that I can remind myself. Come on. There we go. Where is it? Yeah, Nitro Momona. There we go. All right, he should have been the one to actually be that guy there, and he could have just turned to Ochoko and said, "So, was this like when you fought those heroes in USJ?" And she would go, yes, but this is far worse than that. And that would be a great moment for her as well as a character. And maybe after seeing all of this, because Tekken brought up this idea in his video that quite a few students might drop out after this point, after this war. And I could definitely see Ochoko being one of the heroes, being to like just drop out completely. Even though she set her minds on being a hero, she probably after all of this, after seeing all of this damage, and after her interactions with Toga as well, I could definitely see her being one of the ones like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want my parents to. I feel like she would value what her parents would want over her own goal, and I feel like her parents would be some of the parents like, I just don't want you to be like a part of this anymore. And I think like that would be a point that would come up in the series, maybe after like this arc is officially over.
I could definitely see that, or like the way I'd prefer it is just that this would be a time for the students to really reaffirm their values, and that the world of being a hero it's no fucking joke.
No.
Your life will be at stake at every waking moment, and maybe this would be the time where we could cut the fat.
Yeah, and I could definitely see, you know what would be great? It would be a great chapter for Uraraka. She's just lying in her bed, just thinking about things and just thinking about Toga, and then there's just this creepy image of her, you remember Bleach? You remember Bleach?
Yep, I remember Bleach.
Yeah, when Ichigo's just in his bed and he just sees his hollow form, like just there in front of him, and he's like, oh my god, that was scary. I could definitely see that with Uraraka, but doing it with doing it with Toga as well, and her thinking like, do I really want this nightmare fuel all my life?
Yeah.
So I could definitely see after all of this, Uraraka actually being one of the heroes to be like, I can't be a hero in this way anymore. Like she'll probably be like firm on that belief. Like, I want to be a hero, but not if it means like having basically my life and my friends and my family in constant danger like this. Because she's one of the characters who would actually be thinking of something like that.
Yeah.
But now, in terms of her ranking, I want to put her in God just for the fact that she's one of those characters that you don't expect much from her because of her nature, but at the same time, she's like really, really committed, and there's like tons of directions that Horikoshi could actually take her. But I don't know about you. Where would you actually put her?
I could concede with God. God.
Yeah, is she better than Kiroshima as an overall character? Even though Kiroshima's your favorite, is she better than Kiroshima?
I don't think she's better than Kiroshima. I'd definitely be putting Kiroshima in God, but
well, okay, I could put Kiroshima in God if it means putting Ochoko in God. We could change it,
and it's fine. This is supposed to be both of our opinions, and we came to a compromise that I was perfectly okay with.
Okay, all right. So she's going in God.
Kiroshima is still my favorite character. It's just merely both of our opinions into account here.
Yeah. Now Aisawa, oh my god, I love this guy. I love it just as a aesthetic. And for anyone who's seen Mission Yotsuko Family, or not even seen, for anyone who's read Mission Yotsuko Family, there is a character in that, you know the one I'm talking about, man. There is a character in there that acts so similar to Aisawa. It's just hilarious at this point. Okay, you know the character I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now the reason why I like him so much is, again, he's just such an unpredictable character. He's like, half the time you have no idea what he's going to do on a day-to-day basis, and I love the fact that we've actually started to get some character development going on with him, like with Kurogiri, how the fact that he was kind of the fact that they were friends in high school, and now his friend has been kind of turned into this like monster by the villains, and I loved when that came about. And I just love his aesthetic. I love his quirk. His quirk, I feel, is his quirk could be one of the most overpowered ones, but Horikoshi gave it so many nerves that it's like, okay, he has a powerful quirk, but it's like not too overpowered, which when we get to Izuku, that's going to be something we're going to have to talk about. But yeah, I love his personality. I love his design, and I love the fact that he's kind of like the teacher that you don't think Izuku would need, but he is the teacher that Izuku deserves. Yeah. So, but I love the fact that he was the character that was used to remind you. It's like, okay, these quirk removing drugs are a thing, and they fire it at him, but he's like, nope, I'm not losing my quirk, and he just slices his leg off. Yeah, that was one of the better parts of the war arc, in my opinion. But I want to know what your opinions are on Aizawa.
Yeah, Aizawa is definitely a really good character, and it's like, from what I've seen, he definitely grows in Vigilantes, though unfortunately I haven't seen him in Vigilantes because I haven't read it, so
I've only read a little bit of Vigilantes, and he does appear, but I haven't read enough to actually make an honest opinion on that front.
Yeah, but for Aizawa, I would definitely put him in either great or excellent.
I would put him in excellent, and I love the fact that he's one of the characters who actually, even though we're coming to him next, even though I do not like Bakugou, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't like Bakugou. I think, but I think he's just below average in my opinion as a character. I'll let you take Bakugou next if you want. But I love the fact how when everyone was just like saying to Bakugou, "You're going too hard on Ochoko. You're going too hard on Ochoko," and Percent Mike was kind of agreeing with them, and he just shoves Percent Mike's like, yeah. If you can't see what's going on here, whoever's saying this about my students, if you can't see what's going on here, then you should pack your bags in, pack up being here, and go home, because this guy is giving his all because she is giving her all. Hello? Tyler? I think we've lost him, but yeah, I would definitely put Bakugou in excellent. Not Bakugou, Aizawa in excellent.
Yeah.
Hey,
can you hear me?
Yeah, did you hear what I was saying?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you, mate? You're gonna can you drop out and then come back in? I think we've lost. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I think we've lost Tyler for a second there, but yeah, I would definitely put Aizawa in excellent. So we'll put him there. Defiance not connected. All right, can you hear me now, Tyler?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me, Tyler?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Good. All right. Did you hear what I was saying about Aizawa? About how he stood up for Bakugou?
Yeah.
All right. So now.
Yeah, I heard everything you said.
Oh, okay. That's good. Now, here's the thing, Bakugou. I hate him. I don't care what people say. People say, "Oh, he's one of the most well-developed characters." I just hate him. I was bullied like Yusuke when I was younger, and I hate bullies. I hate bullies, and Bakugou is the stereotypical bully of the series. Now, he does have his good points, I will admit that, but in terms of him as a character, below average. What would you say?
All right, so with Bakugou, I like him. He is definitely one of the better written characters in this series, and I definitely feel that you may be giving him a little bit too much flack.
Yeah,
just based on the fact of what he...
That's just,
kind of what he was, and he still kind of is, but to a lesser degree. But okay, here comes another Danganronpa comparison.
Oh my god. Okay, for people who
Kyoko Saionji from Danganronpa 2. Again, going back to Danganronpa 2.
Yeah.
So with both Bakugou and Hiyoko, they're both bullies. They're both very harsh. They're both very cold. They're both very hot-headed and brash. Except, for Bakugou, it's a lot less justified because Hiyoko's harsh nature is a front. It is it's more of a front than anything because Hiyoko faced a lot of adversity when she was younger. Like her peers would put pins in her shoes, put rodents in her bed, poison her food. She'd be regularly targeted for assassinations. And she developed that cold, harsh attitude to defend herself. And that sort of also bled into her normal interactions with everyday people, like how she constantly bullies Mikon throughout the game. And with Bakugou, his cocky, brash attitude is a lot less justified than Hiyoko. Yet somehow I like him more than Hiyoko, and I actually don't really like Hiyoko. The difference here is an execution. Bakugou, in my opinion, is a much better executed character than Hiyoko. Bakugou is a much better utilized character than Hiyoko. And Bakugou, he doesn't stay in his bully lane. He has his moments of actually being a sympathetic character. Like when, after the hideout raid, Bakugou was carrying a weight on his shoulders that he was responsible for All Might's retirement. He was carrying that burden on his shoulders. He had guilt for the first time, possibly for the first time in his life. He feels guilt. And we see him wanting to prove himself. So he goes to fight Midoriya. And he wins against Midoriya. And that is probably one of the biggest character moments for Bakugou.
Yeah, I could agree.
And then after that fight, and after Aizawa puts them both under house arrest, we see Bakugou develop and start being less cold towards people like Midoriya. And that development really speaks about Bakugou and speaks to his willingness to change and speaks to his willingness to grow and develop.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'd put Bakugou in great. Fuck, I'd put him in excellent.
I don't know, Matt. Okay.
What do you say, Luke?
Okay, I will admit, he is one of the more well-developed characters in the series. I'm here. I'm still here. Can you hear me? Tyler, can you hear me? All right, I'll just say my piece right now with Bakugou. Yeah, I agree. Tyler, I think you're gonna have to re-enter again.
Dude, you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Cut out.
Can you hear me? Tyler, can you hear me? Are you there?
Dude.
Yeah. Are you here? Tyler, are you here? Put him in God, Albor says. I feel Tyler. Albor, can you hear me? Albor, can you hear me?
Okay.
Oh, okay. He can hear us. Yeah. He can hear us both. Thanks, man. Man.
Yeah, I can hear you. I
just wasn't sure. But I will say Bakugou is one of the more well-developed characters of the series. I will give him that. And
yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, I am here.
We're both here.
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yes.
Right. Okay. Can I continue now? Okay. Tyler, I'm gonna stop the stream for a second and then come back in. So, Tyler, bear with me. Arbor. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. It might be on Tyler's end because I can hear him perfectly fine. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna say, Arbor, for your benefit, I will give him credit. Bakugou is one of the more well-developed characters in the series, but I just generally don't like him, and he's kind of one of the ones that I feel like shouldn't have been so much of a bully at the beginning. That's my personal opinion. So, but I do agree that he is one of the more well-developed characters. So I definitely put him in great. Okay, Tyler, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Good.
Did you hear everything I said about Bakugou?
No.
I will say, Bakugou is one of the more well-developed characters in the series, so I'll give him that. But again, I really think he should have not been so much of a bully at the beginning of the series. I feel like it just came off as him just being a bully for the sake of being a bully. But I will admit what you've said of kind of like maybe think, okay, he does belong high up, maybe in grades. But one thing I want to say about him, I want to talk about his hero name. Like, what was his hero name again? His official one.
I believe it's like Super Explosion Lord Dynamite.
I'll get it up. Let me just check. Okay, so Bakugou. Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. Okay, here's the thing. Take off the murder part and just have the Great Explosion Hero Dynamite. I think that works for him. The murder. I think people at the end of this are going to have to say, like, okay, Bakugou, you can't have murder in a hero name. The hero name is awesome to be that. Yes, it's awesome, Dalbor, but is it appropriate for a hero to be going around saying, I murder people? But I'll put him in. Okay, Albor, will you suffice with excellence for Bakugou rather than God? Because I feel like his personality at the beginning does hold him back a little bit. Well, sorry, he's going in God. I'm sorry, Albor. We've got to move on. Yeah. He's going in excellent. Now, the main man himself, Okay, fair. Okay, we've all compromised. That's excellent. Okay, now the main man himself, Izuku Midoriya, also known
All
as
right.
Deku. Now, he's a character that if he oh, don't know what happened there. Something don't know what happened there. Went a bit flat for a second. Our boss says trash from Midoriya. He's not that bad. Like Tyler, you explain why Midoriya is not that bad.
Okay, so personally for me, why Midoriya is better than people say he is, it's because, first off, he's not like a lot of other Shonen Pro tags. Keep in mind, like, this series started in 2014. Like, the status quo for Shonen Pro tags was hot-headed, brash, and not the best upstairs. Like, Luffy, Naruto, Toriko was still going on at this time with him. Even Ichigo had his moments where he could be a bit stubborn and hot-headed. And like Midoriya is not any of those things. He's shy, he's meek, he's soft. At the beginning, he's shy, meek, soft-spoken, socially awkward. And especially for the time, like, it was really nice seeing a not hot-headed, brash, okay, I don't want to say stupid, but not the best in the brains department Shonen Pro tag.
Well, here's the thing. He is smart. Midoriya is one of the smartest in Class 1A because he's in the top 5.
I'm saying he is smart. I'm saying it's nice to get a character that isn't.
Okay. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like Midoriya at the beginning. How he was kind of. I feel like this is the problem with Midoriya. I feel like Albor's hatred for Midoriya has come from more later development on his part rather than right at the beginning of my hero, because Albor's calling him the worst shonen MC after Naruto before correcting him saying Naruto is better than Deku. But here's the thing. The problem with Deku is not the fact that he did get a quirk. That could have still happened. He still could have gotten a quirk. It's just the fact that he got the most overpowered quirk in the series.
Yes, that is the problem. It's not that he... Oh, shit.
You okay?
Yep, I'm fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The big problem is it isn't that Midoriya it isn't that he got the quirk. It's he got Wait,
why has 2 of you come in?
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
Okay. The problem isn't Midoriya it wasn't that he didn't. It's not that he got a quirk. It's that he got so many.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I've always said this about Midoriya, but if he had like a quirk that was useful in certain situations but that wasn't overpowered, I feel like the series could have still worked as it is now. And the more he refines and develops that quirk, like my perfect example is give him a disc quirk, something like that, something that can be useful in combat, but it's not like I'm gonna be the Avatar or I'm gonna be Ben 10 sort of thing. Hello, Tyler. Oh well, we've lost Tyler again. So I am going to okay. I feel like the My Hero fanboys are trying to interrupt this stream. So we'll look at your comments, Albert. Okay, are you there?
Yes, I am here. My connection is absolute dog shit right now, but
We'll try it. We'll try and plow through it as quickly as possible. But yeah, my perfect example for a quirk for Deku would be just give him a disc, something like a disc quirk.
Yeah, or like I said, keep the super strength. Just get rid of everything else.
Yeah, definitely. The only problem there would be the thing with Shinzo. Like, how would that get resolved if he didn't have over one?
Like you can keep the people's keep the people in their consciousness in there. Just don't have their quirks.
All right, fair enough. But again, I just like my idea of a disc quirk because there's so much versatility you could do with that. Like, basically, okay, the way for people who don't know what I'm talking about, the way I'd see Deku having a quirk is whatever he touches that's not circular, he can make circular like a disc. So, like, if he was to touch a phone, it would turn into a disc, and he could use that to fire at his opponents. Something like that. That would work, and the more he develops as a hero, like the sharper the edges of the circular discs would get. Something like that.
Yeah, it'd be like some super killer frisbee.
Yeah, super killer frisbee. But yeah, but as a character himself, where would you put him?
I would put. If you would have asked me this before the big revelation of him having 6 extra quirks, I would have been putting him in excellent. But now that he feels more like a god than anything, I would put him in great.
Okay, I can deal with that. Arbor, are you content with that?
Something tells me he ain't.
Yep, something's telling me he wants him in trash. I wonder why. But okay, Albor, as long as he doesn't rank as high as Bakugou, are you all right with that?
Yeah, he's lower than Bakugou.
Yeah, so we'll put him in great. Now we're moving on to our first person from Class 1B, Ibarra. Oh, trash! Oh, come on, Albor, be fair.
Okay, so Ibarra Shiozaki.
Yep, the fine girl.
She's okay. I put her in average.
Put it average. Yeah, I can see that. I do. I liked how she kind of like used the fact that she seemed like a meek female, just like, oh, I'm just the cutesy girl of the group to her advantage against Kaminari. And then it's all of a sudden her hair becomes fines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of character itself, what do we know about her?
We know she's seemingly extremely faith-based. Whatever faith she may have, she is extremely rooted in it.
Oh, I finally get that now. Whatever face she has, she's seemingly rooted in it. Hint,
Pun completely intended.
The fines in her hair, the roots of her hair. Hint, hint. Yeah, I would put her in average just for the fact that she's a character that I only think about just because of that one fight with Kaminari. All right, now earphone chat girl, Jiro.
All right, Jiro.
I like her. I really like her. I like the fact that she's one of the characters that you'd think would be like one of the characters who's more out there, more rocking because she's like grown up as a musician. But no, she's quite humble in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of her quirk is probably the most versatile quirk ever in anything I've ever seen. Because theoretically, couldn't she like proper earphone jacks into, like, say the earphone jacks on a computer and just have it running into her ears from that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those things are sharp. Like, which begs the question: why wasn't Mineta blind after she poked him with it?
He should have been blind in that eye.
Yes, he should have been blinded in the eye, and we're getting close to Mineta. We are getting close to her, so again, we've got a very special place for him. A very special place for him, but going back to Jiro, keep those comments coming our board because we love them. Fine girl is cute, average. Jiro is meh. She's not meh. She was one of the students aside from the 5 main that actually and Momo who actually got some development in some, like, she had an arc dedicated to her. Can you say about many of the other students that weren't the main characters?
Yeah, can you say that Sato got development? Can you say Ojiro had a riveting character moment? Can you say Koda had something groundbreaking, earth-shatteringly amazing?
Jiro's okay, I just don't care about her. Okay, fair enough. Well, that's your opinion, but here's our opinion. I liked the development we got from her, how she was kind of like someone who wasn't confident in Uraka is still okay. Now you're just trolling us. Now he's just trolling us, Tyler.
Yeah. Great.
All right. All right. I would definitely put her in great. She's a great character. I like her quirk. I like her personality, and I like the development that she got.
Yep. I agree.
So not much to say about her, and I hope we get more from her. Like again, she would be the ones that if I was Horikoshi in the war arc, I would definitely save.
Yeah.
Now, Keigo, is that how you pronounce her name?
Kendo.
Kendo. Sorry. Kendo. Big Fist. Class rep of 1B. Just for the fact that she just slaps thingy bobs about Momona all the time. Just for those facts, she gets great for me.
Yeah. Also, the fact that she's a big sister of the group, I like that. She's great. She's great.
And her quirk again. Actually, here's the thing. Here is the thing. Give her quirk to Deku. That would be a perfect quirk for him to have. Like he starts off the series. Okay, he gets like the big fist quirk, but at the beginning of the series, all he can lift is like, say, I don't know, a bookcase. That's all he can lift. And then the more he goes through the series, the bigger his fists get. So that would be a perfect quirk for Deku to have if he didn't have all for one, and you wanted to make him just more average.
Yeah. Make Midoriya an underdog and not a god. Yes,
but in terms of Kendo, I would definitely put her in great. She's a great support character to have around.
Yep. Alright, next up is Kinoko Komori, the mushroom girl that lodged mushrooms in Tokoyami's throat. And just for that, she belongs in the trash!
Yeah. I will say she has an interesting design, she's designed to look like a mushroom.
Yeah.
But again, go ahead, why don't you like her? I think you've made it clear that you don't particularly like her.
Oh no, it's not that I don't like her, it's just that her actions just make her want me to shove her in the trash. Because I do not appreciate what she did to Tokoyami.
Okay, so you don't appreciate what she did to Bird Boy.
Yeah, but she's average. She's alright.
I don't have very many strong feelings towards her. I think the only thing that I like about her is the fact that she again has one of the more unique quirks, just being able to produce fungus from anywhere, and the fact that she's shaped like a mushroom. But aside from that, not really anything I can think of. So I would put her in below average.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Now, Hatsume.
I
love her. I absolutely adore this character for the reason of the fact that she should be one that's more prominent in the series, but she's not, and she really should be because of the fact that she's a character who she's basically a female Tony Stark, essentially. She invents her gadgets, and they work for the most part. And they can be used effectively to combat professional heroes as well, because she doesn't have a combat quirk, but she works around that by creating gadgets to compensate for that. And she again is one of the more supportive characters. Like, she creates upgrades for the other heroes. But again, I really wish there'd be more to her, and I just love her personality. How she's very out there, eccentric kind of girl.
Yeah, I like that too. Hatsume's eccentricity is something I can really appreciate. Like, she's just a really fun character to have on screen.
Yeah, and you think, like I said, you figure there would be more characters like her in the series, characters that don't have combat quirks but still useful as heroes.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put her in excellent, just because of the fact that she just brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, I'd put her in great, but I can concede with excellent.
Okay, all right. Now, my boy, I'm just gonna do it right now. You should have gone for the head. There was a reason why I called it Thanos Snap. We're just going to put that guy in there.
Okay, can I give my 2 cents before you...
Go on.
I think Minetta's overhated.
No, he is not. He deserves all the hate he gets.
Oh, okay. I will say this. Minetta isn't... I don't think Minetta's as bad as people make him out to be, really. Because, like... He's a pervert character, sure, but...
No. He's a perfect character that takes it to the nth degree. Like, do you remember the scene where he went into Hagakure's room and basically sniffed her panties?
Fair, but, like... here's the thing with me and pervert characters. And their pervy actions, it always depends on, like... It depends on what they do, on whether or not I like them. Like, it's a very case-by-case basis. Like, if Minette, like, take the moment in the forest camp arc.
Right.
They're like, Minetta's like climbing the wall, and it's supposed to like be very, very exaggerated, very comedic. Like, in that moment, it's fine. Because, you know, I could suspend my disbelief, and Minetta got his comeuppance.
But here's the thing. Has he really got his comeuppance? Because for me to actually have him get his comeuppance, he has to be expelled and actually reflect on his actions and apologize to people.
I mean, fair, but, like... For me, it's always a case-by-case basis. Like, I could say, like, that comment he made to Eri, nope, there's no defending that.
That is no defense. That's why he needs to be Thanos snapped. Again, you cannot deny that, because he said that to Eri, who had just been through probably the most traumatic period of her life. For him to say that, like, he sees a 8-year-old girl as basically him wanting to bone when she's older. That is messed up.
Yeah, there's no defending that.
So that's why I say, okay, you need to be out of the series.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I personally disagree, but you know what? Sure.
Well, I've disagreed on a few things with you. Like with Kiroshima, I conceded with excellent for you.
It's only fair that I concede.
Yeah. Now, Momo. Again, I'm putting her in great because of the fact that she's a twist on the spoiled rich girl. and the fact that she's one of the she's one of the more humble characters and one of the ones that is kind of like more worried and self-conscious about themselves in like not in like the way they dress or the way they look, just in the way people view them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the fact that appreciate.
Yeah. And again, just the fact that she has another versatile quirk, quite literally, because she can pretty much make anything as long as she has it in the Yairo's. How do you pronounce the name of her diction? The Yairo's dictionary. I love that gimmick that she has going for. Like, she names parts of her costume after herself, kind of like Batman.
Yeah.
Hand me the Yairo's dictionary, and somebody's like, how can you say that without getting tongue tied? But yeah, and I loved the fact how after the sports festival, that when she lost to Tokoyami, how it kind of like we went through this like little character arc with her of getting over her self-conscience, thanks to Todoroki, which has led to many fan fictions, many shippings, which I could see them being together. Can you imagine if Momo and Todoroki had a child and they were able to create shapes based on fire and ice?
That would be pretty interesting.
That would be pretty, like a flame sword. They literally make a flame sword. Yeah. Or an ice spear, like you know the legendary Pokemon that was introduced in the Crown Tundra, like the ice horse thing.
Oh yeah, Glacier.
Yeah, Glacier.
Yeah,
and it uses its ice spear thing. That would basically be if Momo and Todoroki had a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely put her in great. She's a great character, and pretty good vice president of the class as well.
Yeah.
Now, who was this guy? It was.
Okay. Is that the drill guy?
It's Is it Sen? Yeah, it's Sen. It's
Sen Kabata.
Kabara. I completely forgot this character existed until I looked it up. So yeah, meh. The only thing that I could remember really from it is just again, it's a quirk that Deku could have had. Like,
yeah, and
many of the people from Class 1B basically have quirks that Deku could have had.
Yeah, it could have or should have had.
Yeah, but in terms of this character, not really much going from me. It's just kind of like, meh, can't really remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Zero.
Or Spider Tape. Spider Tape. I had to do that.
He's okay. He has his cool moments, like the provisional license exam. He had his cool moments. He had some neato moments. I think he was okay. Not terrible, not impressive, just okay.
It's just average. Yeah. And he had that moment in the sports festival where he went up against Todoroki and you knew he was going to lose, but at the same time, he went all out with it. Mm-hmm. So you got to give him credit for that.
Yep.
Now, this guy, what was his name again? Let me just bring up the chart.
Shihai Kurohiro.
Yeah. I've just got to address the elephant in the room with this. Do you think people will find him a bit controversial just because of the way he looks?
There shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, but you know how the internet is. As soon as they get a glimpse of this character, they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, this character exists and he's like that." So, personally, I have no problem with him, but I just wanted your 2 cents on it because you know where I'm going with this.
Well, again, like, keep in mind, like this, with Kurohiro's skin pigment, it's most likely due to his quirk. So it's not like he's like this for no reason. God, I feel like I'm about to get canceled for saying this. There's a reason why he's like this. It's because of his quirk. His quirk being black.
Yeah. There's no beating around the bush. Like when I got this image, I was like, should we bring up the elephant in the room with this? Because I think people would be like, okay, why didn't you address this when you had the chance? So I was like, okay, we need to talk about this. But I like the fact that his costume is just it's like with Hagakure, like he just takes off his clothes and he's naked that's his costume basically.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not like and that is basically his quirk. He can manipulate darkness basically. Anything dark.
He can hide in dark surfaces and like shadows.
Which made it a pretty interesting matchup when he went up against Tokoyami. I hate the fact that they have such similar names, Todoroki and Tokoyami.
I personally find no problem with it, but honestly, Kurohiro is definitely one of the more interesting members of Class 1B for me. Yeah. Mainly because of what we saw of him and how deceptive and schemy he was. There's definitely more to him, and I kind of wish he wasn't in Class 1B because he just seems like a cool guy and his quirk seems kind of useful.
Yeah. But overall, I would put him in average. Could you?
Yeah, I'd put him in average.
Yeah, definitely. Now Shinzo.
Excellent.
Has what I wasn't going to debate that. Has one of the more interesting characters. Basically a younger Aisawa, and we still need to find out which class he's going to be in on the hero course. And I love the fact how their quirks are the quirks that people don't actually see as being heroic, but yet they can be, as demonstrated during the Class 1B, Class 1A, Class 1A arc, where his quirk basically saved Deku.
Yeah.
So excellent, and I hope we get to see much more of him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Shogi.
Shogi. One of the characters that I feel is vastly underrated. He is underrated because of the fact he has a cool design. He has a cool aesthetic, and just the fact, again, his quirk is quite versatile. Like he gets all the Drupal arms that could be used both for offensive and defensive purposes if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
But again, he's not really utilized as much as he should be, and I feel like that's kind of why he gets thrown on the back burner a lot of times.
Absolutely. I feel like he should be getting more screen time, but unfortunately he doesn't because we got to focus on the main five.
Yep, we got to focus on the main five, and in that regard, we don't even focus on the main five. We only focus on Deku, Bakugou, and Todoroki at this point.
Yeah.
But in terms of Shogi himself, where would you put him?
Shogi, I would put him in either average or like high below average. Because we don't really know much about him.
Yeah, I could put him in average. Now, Todoroki. Shall we just say it? Because I like Zuko from Avatar, and he's basically my hero, Zuko. Can we put him in guard? Unless you have. Okay. Okay, say your piece.
Mainly because I do not think he's better than Bakugou, Kiroshima, or Ochoko. But, like, he's a really good character. I just do not think he is anywhere near, like... And yeah, he has a great character arc. He has a great story to him, and sports festival did wonders for his character, and especially his relationship with his father, Endeavor. That's definitely something that adds to his character, and how he sort of acts like a in between Natsu and Fuyumi and Rei, where Natsu despised his father and will never forgive him, and the same with Toya.
Yep. And for all of you who don't want to be spoiled right now, we'll 3, 2, 1. Toyu.
Dabi's Toya.
Dabi is Toyu. Yep. So he's certainly not going to be forgiving Endeavor anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rei and Fuyumi just want a normal family again.
Oh, that's not going to happen now. That is never going to happen now. That's kind of been burnt to a fiery crisp and danced in the flames of hell, as was stated. Because I feel like once Endeavor wakes up, he is not going to be a hero after this far. Like people are not going to want him as a hero, especially the number one hero.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Can heroes actually? That's an interesting question. Can heroes go to prison?
I imagine they could.
Yeah. So Endeavor after this, should be going to prison for what happened. Yeah. So anyway, Todoroki, where would you actually put him?
I'd put him in great.
Okay, I can concede with that. Yeah, I can live with that. I like it. I like his design. I like his personality. I like how he reminds me of Zuko from Avatar. In every single way now that we've had the reveal with Darby. And I love his quirk. It's like one of the quirks that that perfectly contrast each other and could be very versatile if you put them together to create water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Togaru
Kamakiri.
Fun fact about him: he shares the same birthday as me, January 7th. So
I share the same birthday as Toga.
And she's not even on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, him, I don't really have anything to say about him.
His design's cool.
Yeah, that's really the only thing I can say about him.
Below average. He's not as bad as Kaibara, but below average.
Below average, I can deal with that. Now, we've got to say it. Tokoyami Fume Kage. The darkness in my heart.
The reader of many HP Lovecraftian material.
And the one who has the reverie in the dark. Why does he keep saying that?
It's more of it's just Tokoyami being over dramatic and wanting to share his over dramatic nature with the rest of the class in hopes of someone chiming in.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just looking for a friend.
Yeah, which you think he would already have by this point.
I mean, Kurohiro is a person.
Yeah. But anyway, him as a character, he's definitely one of the ones that sticks out a lot. Just for the fact that he has a bird face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of cool moments with Tokoyami as well, like the sports festival,
the forest training camp.
Yeah, the training camp, and even 1A versus 1B, where he makes almost full use of Dark Shadow and his confrontation with Kurohiro. The only bad part about Tokoyami in that situation is that he got mushrooms in his throat, and I want to hurt a bitch.
Okay, calm down. Yeah, and I do like Dark Shadow as a quirk, just for the fact that it's basically a 2-man squad at all times. And I love the fact that Dark Shadow basically has its own personality as well. Case in point, at the end of the end of semester test when they defeated Ectoplasm, and he's like, and Ectoplasm's like, you both did really well, and then you just see Dark Shadow going, I did most of the work.
Yeah.
But again, he's very under. I don't know if you've noticed this about it. Like you think of those moments, but then you start to think like, aside from them, when has he actually? People love him, but what else has he actually done outside of that? Like, I know he saved Hawks. Like, we've seen him save Hawks, and he kind of looks up to Hawks as a character. Which, by the way, another rant on the war arc, Hawks should have died.
Yes, Hawks should have been dead.
Yes, he got turned into Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anybody who says he didn't clearly has never had their back burnt off.
Well, like, are you speaking from experience, Luke?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying that as a hypothetical. But yeah, Hawks should have died in that arc. But I like how Tokoyami was very committed to him, and even if Hawks is going to survive, which he shouldn't do, I could see him teaming up with Tokoyami and taking on a villain, like the two bird heroes doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where would you actually put him, Tokoyami?
I'd put him anywhere from around average to great.
Yeah, I could definitely do with great, just because he has one of the more unique designs and quirks. Now, Toru Hagakure.
Below average.
Below average, definitely. No question about that.
There's nothing to talk about here.
Yeah,
it's basically the same shit with everybody in below average and down. There is nothing to talk about. At least Mineta, we could talk about him.
Yes, at least we could. But with Toru, it's like, oh yeah, Toru. What does she look like again? Oh wait, she's invisible. Yeah. So anyway, now who was this again?
Yui Kodai. She's another member of Class 1B.
Yeah,
she can change the size of things from small to big.
Yeah, and again, you know what I'm gonna say.
There's nothing to talk about.
Nope, something else as well. There should have been a quirk that Deku had. Well, I want us to count from now on. Count how many times I say this is a quirk that Deku should have had.
I think we said it about 3 times.
Yes. But yeah, she has a quirk that Deku could have utilized really well if he had it. That's something I'd love people to do a video series on. What if Deku had other quirks?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not much to talk about with her. Like, she's a character who's just kind of like there. And again, a problem with having too many characters in the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, below
she's
average.
Fine. Yep.
Below average.
Around met the below average.
I would just put I'll put him there. Because at least with Coda, we can talk something about him.
Yeah, there's something to talk about with Coda. Okay, now, Yosetsu Awase, the welder.
Thank you for pronouncing his name, because I didn't know how to pronounce his name. So Yosetsu, again, like I like again. What can you really say about him?
He put a tracking device on the Nomu. Momo created the tracking device, and Awase put the tracking device on the Nomu. He welded the damn tracking device onto his body.
Oh crap! I completely forgot about that part.
So I could say we could put him around below average to average. Yeah,
I put him in average for just for that fun. But again, aside from that, what can you really say about him? That you'd figure the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc would be the arc where it's more in depth than it really is.
Yeah.
Like, it should have. Here's the thing: it should have been Class 1A versus Class 1B. It should have just been the Class 1B arc. Like, we focused mainly on Class 1B doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, now, Beast Guy, Beast Man, Jotaro.
Jurota Shishida.
Yeah. Definitely one of the more stand-outish characters, quite literally, because he can turn into a beast. He's basically the beast from Beauty and the Beast in my eyes.
I view it more as Beast from the X-Men.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see what kind of what Horikoshi was going for there, kind of making him more of the beastie guy. But yeah, so I get. What can you say about him?
He did play a role in he played a role in the match between 1A versus 1B.
Okay, anything else?
He looks cool.
Below average.
Below average.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
guy. You look cool and you have an interesting quirk, but do something.
Alright. So
Now-
Juzo Honanuki.
Now, this guy, I do like his design and I love his quirk. It's definitely, if I was going to pick one of the quirks to have that what was from Class 1B, this would definitely be one of them.
Yeah, and he did have a cool moment between him and Ida.
Yeah, definitely. He's the guy who it'll be interesting to see Ida go up against in a one-on-one fight, because while Ida's quite the speedy guy, he can basically nullify that by just turning the ground into sand or quicksand.
Yeah, or just make it soft.
Just make it soft, and it'll be interesting to see how Ida would fight with a quirk like that. And also, isn't he one of the ones from Class 1B that gets in on special recommendation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and Setsuna Tokage.
All right. Yeah. She's right at the end. I can see her. But yeah, I definitely do like him. I like her. He's definitely one of the ones that had much more. Class 1B, he's definitely one of the ones that's had more focus than most of the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe that's just for the fact that he just has a quirk that's more memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely put him in average.
Definitely.
Yeah. Funny how Uraraka's the only one in God.
Ochoko Uraraka's the one true god of My Hero Academia.
Well, she can lift things into space if she really wanted to. So I guess that counts.
I guess.
Yeah. Now, who was this guy? Kojiro
Bondo.
He's basically the Class 1B's coder, isn't he?
Basically, but he talks a bit and he can shoot glue out of his face.
Yeah, and you figure that again. You know what I'm gonna say here? And I should have said this about the last guy, the softening guy. It's a quirk that Deku could have had.
And you're about to hear me say it again. There's not much to talk about
with him. So again, you know where he's going. Below average.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Kosei Subaraba. He has the solid air quirk. He can basically blow shapes, and Bakugou basically when Bakugou went up against one of his solid air bubbles, he broke it in one punch.
One punch. Okay, question. This guy versus Gentle Criminal. Who do you think would win?
Gentle.
Okay, because I could see it being evenly matched because Shinzo has the elasticity quirk, and this guy basically has the quirk to turn his basically breath into solid air, basically.
Yeah, and we have seen it be more durable as it took out Coda, but it's fucking Coda.
Yeah, wow. Now, if it took out, say, someone like, I don't know, Ida or Kiroshima, that would be impressive.
I think he.
Actually, a better example, him versus Kiroshima. So basically, the solid mask guy versus Red Riot Unbreakable. Who do you think would win?
Actually, let me check something.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
let's see.
I'm just gonna say, I do like his quirk, and it's definitely a very versatile quirk, and again, it's a quirk that Deku could have had. Actually, it is a quirk that Deku could have had because if you think about it, Deku cries a lot of the time, so you'd figure he'd use his crying to his advantage in that if he had that quirk. But yeah, I definitely put him in average.
All right, so he's able to send out squares of air and shape them into a box to imprison his opponent.
Okay, so him versus Kiroshima, who do you think would win?
I would Kiroshima.
Okay. Okay.
And now,
but I would say he's definitely. It would definitely be more of a more of like a match where you really don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and
again,
say it with me.
There's not much to talk about. But I will say we have talked about him more than some of the other ones. So for that matter, we've got to put him in average.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for the, and again, say it with me. It's a quirk
that Deku should have had.
Okay.
And now for manga Fukidashi.
Okay, this character is just what the hell.
I love his design.
I do as well. I definitely put it in great, just because it's a great design, and it's definitely something you would not think about. But when you think about it, like, actually, yeah, this is something that would be useful. Like, it could create the words, and they become reality.
I'd put him in average.
Yeah, I definitely put him in great just because he has a great design, and he's one of the characters that just sticks out of any of the characters in the series. You're just like, oh, this guy, yeah, I remember this guy.
Yeah, but
again, you know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. There's not much to talk about with him.
That's the thing that's the curse of Class 1B. There isn't much to talk about.
I know. Aside from a few others on this list now. But yeah, okay, average. I could definitely put him in average, even though I would put him higher just with the fact that he just has one of the more interesting designs, and it's certainly weird. It's certainly not something I wouldn't have expected.
Alrighty, so Monoma, throw him in the fucking trash. I hate him.
Yes, I hate him as well, and he could have been so much. It could have been so much better. Like, here's the thing with him. He started off like interesting, like, because there are going to be people like that who think that they're so much better than the people that have fought these heroes, and he could have been in more fights with Class 1B. Like, not even he could have just been like say for example the Stain arc. He could have been in the same city that Ida was in, and he saw Ida running off, and it's like, oh, if I can whatchamacallit, if I can rat on the class rep from 1A, then maybe I will be seen as someone who could be in class 1A at that point. And then he goes and gets involved with the fight with Stain, and he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really could have been. He had so much potential for him, and again, like I said, he should have been the hero that was looking over all that damage. Spoke to Uraka and said, "Is this what it's like to fight actual villains?" Wow, maybe I should. Maybe being hero's not for me. That would have at least got him into average for me.
Yep. And
Yeah.
throw him in the fucking trash.
Yep, I can agree with that. Now, Pony, whatever her last name is.
Pony Sunatori.
Pony Sunatori. I like her design, and I like for the fact that we actually get to talk. This is a character that we don't have much to talk. We do have quite a bit to talk about with her because she and one of the other characters in Class 1B are the only ones that we know so far from different countries.
Yep, because Pony's from America.
Pony's from America. And I like her. And say it with me. This is a quirk that Deku could have had. Although it would have been weird to see him with horns on his head.
Yeah, Deku would have been much hornier.
Oh my god, you had to go there. But no, I just like how versatile. It's basically like Hawks' quirk, basically. Like, she could take the horns of her head, use them as swords, use them as spears.
Use them as missiles?
Use them as missiles. Like,
she can fly on them, too!
Yeah, she can fly on them. And, she could... How sturdy are her horns?
If she can stand on them to fly, I guess pretty versatile.
So, basically, she could use them as swords, basically.
Yeah, and she even went toe-to-toe with Shogi, and... she's the reason why her match with Class 1A was a tie.
Yeah, definitely, and I love just her innocent and naive nature to the point that when Trash Guy, let's just be fair, let's just call him Trash Guy from now on, was saying like, "Hey, say this to these people," it was basically an insult, but she had no idea what was going on. But yeah, I do like her character, but again, wish we could see more of her. But in terms of, I would definitely put her in average.
Average.
Yeah.
And now this chick.
This chick, I completely forgot exists.
There's not much to talk about.
Yeah. What is? Let me just see what her quirk. Okay, so her quirk: poltergeist, telekinesis to control nearby objects. Okay, so you'd figure she would have a match with Uraraka because they have pretty similar quirks.
Did she have a match with Uraraka?
I don't think she did, unless I'm missing something. If she was in the match with Uraraka.
Yeah, because the last match was Midoriya, Ochoko, Ashido, Mineta.
Oh yeah, crap, she was. I forgot. Oh crap, they did actually fight at that point, only briefly, but you'd figure their fight would go on a little bit longer because they have such similar quirks.
Let me check actually.
Yeah. I've checked it. I've just checked it. They were paired off. Their teams were paired off together. But again, not much to talk about her, so where do you want to stick her?
I'm thinking either meh or below average.
I definitely put her in meh because I completely forgot she existed.
I gotta say, like, the strategy used by her, Kodai, and Shoda, that was pretty creative.
Yeah.
Like Yanagi floating the objects, Kodai would size down and up, and then Shoda using his twin impact quirk.
Yeah. But aside from that, there's not really much to say about her.
Yep. There's nothing to talk about.
Yep. Now, how do you pronounce this?
Hiryu Rin.
Hiryu Rin, the other character who's not from Japan, who's from China.
His quirk, or her quirk, is Dragon Scale.
Let me see. Oh, it's a he. I thought it was a girl. I apologize. I apologize. So it's a boy. This is a boy. Yep. And I love his, like, if you go on his My Hero fandom page, his stats is Chinesiness is 5 out of 6.
Only like, a 5 out of 6? I imagine that'd be like an 8.
Yeah, but again, he's I feel like his quirk is pretty useful. Just for the fact that I can make. Excuse me. Just for the fact they can make it. It's basically armored skin, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, which in Power Rangers Dino Thunder, one of the Blue Ranger had that ability, just to turn his skin into dino skin. So very interesting if that was just a coincidence there. But again, guess what I'm gonna say?
There's not much to talk
about with him. So where do you want to put him?
Below average.
Yeah, below average. Now, where was it? He was here.
Nirengeki Shoda.
So Shoda. Okay, so what do you want to say about him?
He had that one moment
where he pulled out the sports festival.
Yep, in the sports festival where he withdrew because
of Shinzo.
Yep.
But aside from that,
what did he do?
What did he do? So where do you want to put him?
Below average.
Below average. Now, here's someone that we can talk about quite a bit.
Great.
Okay, he's going in great. Okay, I'll let you take this one.
He's Kiroshima too. And you know what's better than one Kiroshima? Two Kiroshima.
And they both know it. Hence why they're both chivalrous, they're both very knightly, and they're great rivals for each other, I would say.
Go deliver that ring, I'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I love the fact that out of pretty much the majority of Class 1B, he's the one that we focused on quite a lot. So
yeah.
we at least can know we can at least know his name, and he has one of the more unique names. Tetsu. Just saying his name is fun. Please say his middle name is Tetsu. Yeah, but I do like his design. I like how he's very similar to Kiroshima, and I really hope we get to see much more of him. I would love it if there was that point where some of the students dropped out of UA, he was moved to Class 1A.
I feel like that'd be a bit redundant to have them both in the same class, though.
Good point. But yeah, great character. Love him. So now we're up to the final two. So hopefully we can get this done in the next. Let's see how long we've been going for. How long have we been going? I've lost track of time.
We've gone on for 2 hours and 8 minutes.
2 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, I see it. So, right. Skate at Lizard Girl. All
right. Tokage.
Yeah. I do like her quirk. Like, it's basically turns her into a lizard person, which you want to know something funny that I can.
It just splits her apart. Like,
okay, fair enough. But
she's basically Buggy from One Piece.
Okay, fair enough. But her hero name is Lizardy.
Lizardi, like lizard and lady.
Yeah. You want to know something funny?
What?
If my hero was set in our world, and it was at the point where quirks started popping up, and she was one of the people that were popping up, you know what people would be doing? There's a lizard person, there's a reptile there. We knew it. We knew the world was run by lizard people. Irrefutable proof that there's lizard people roaming amongst us. You know somebody would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that funny, in my opinion. But where would you put her?
Average, because we have something to talk about with her.
Yeah, and just the fact that she can use she can split herself off, which makes her very, very interesting. The way that she can have different body parts of her just scouring around.
Yup.
Yeah, so she could basically have her head in one area, and relay, and basically using her hand in another area to say like, okay, there's two people coming this way. Yeah. Now onto the last guy, the main teacher of Class 1B, Vlad. I'm going to suck your blood.
Average.
Okay, why average?
Well, he kind of inherited Monomo's annoying personality for a bit in the joint training camp, and that kind of annoyed me, and I kind of wanted to kick him in the face.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, I can agree with that. And with that, that is the end of the list.
Yep.
We had some good points, some bad points, but in the end, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out.
Yep, we've had the good, we've had the bad, we've had the Monoma,
and we've had the Mineta. I think that's a good point to end this on. Now, as for what's going to be happening next week, I'm going to be doing another live stream with Sid, but instead of Bleach, we're going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels. So if you wanted to come in and join us for that, but it's on Wednesday, so I don't know if you're working.
I can check and I can get back to you on that.
All right, so hopefully, because I know Songetsu will probably be joining us for that one as well, and it'll be interesting to have 4 people talking about the duels from Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially Destroy the Moon. We've got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully you can be there for that, and yeah. I just want to... yeah, it was just a private message from you saying yeah. So, yeah, thanks for joining me, Tyler, and we will
always happy to help.
Yeah, we will speak to everyone later, and with that note, peace, as
Control
Chaos would say. So, peace.
Peace.